Hey everyone, we are back with another episode of Conversations of Value. And this week we are talking about a community of trust. You know who I am. I'm your host, attorney and business strategist Jamila Moore. And then we just all come here and glean from the incomparable Deborah Lee. And so today we're going to start off just thinking about what do we define as a community?
All right, community. Community is a group of people in the same place with common interests. That's the hope that wherever we live, that we develop that as a community because we all chose to live in that part of town or in that country. And so the hope is that we can fellowship and we have similar attitudes and similar interests and similar goals. So that's a community.
Okay, all right. I'm with it. I'm following the community. So I think about I'm okay. I'm gonna just go straight into this story. Maybe it's gonna be about me today and it's gonna help somebody else. So I had to tell this young woman once that you could no longer be a part of my community. Like we were not meant to be in community together. Right. And if I think about it, it was because I couldn't trust her emotional stability. So that just brings me to the question of once you define what your community is based on that definition or any definition, then how do you define trust?
Well, one of the key things that you already established is that, you know what? You didn't feel safe. If something made you approach this person and say, hey, wait a minute, we're not on the same page. And so, especially, we move into a new neighborhood and the hope we know what we do have in common, but we don't know yet what we don't have in common that may need to have a discussion about in terms of values. Okay. One of our values brought us to this community. The hope
Mm.
is that other values of being safe, being in a sheltered environment where we can develop relationship, that has to be explored to find out, okay, is the neighbor next door in alignment with me or the neighbor down the street across from my house? And so, whether it's the adults or the children learning how to be in community together, the hope is to find out, do we trust anything else in this community other than we bought houses here? We like that it had a playground. We like that it was within walking distance to the school. We like that for me, the YMCA is 3 miles away by car and there's a park there. So I'm grateful for that. But as far as my neighbors, I've had to take the time to get to find out if they were also safe for me within the community that I believe is safe in terms of where I'm located and what is I'm going here. What is the police force like? What is the economic, socioeconomic situation here? What is we research the school district? Is it a good school district for the grandchildren? We did all of that. Are they going to pick up the trash on time? Are they going to come and cut the leaves off the trees and do the branches and everything? So all these things were important. But when it comes to finding out who's in the community and are we safe with the neighbors, then that has to be built up. So we have to find out who is, as you said with this young lady, who has the strength and the capacity to be in relationship with me within this community that I'm building. Who is reliable? Who's honest? Who can I really, really fellowship with? And so the hope is that there's a good shelter, there's a good safe space, and I can be me as I'm building this community and determining how trustworthy, as your word right there, how trustworthy is it for me relationally and as a communal group?
Okay. Let me tell you what I heard and what I took from all of that. I heard that there are levels to community. And with levels to community, at the very basic level is community. right? And
Yeah.
so at the very basic level of community, we have to do some value searching within
Absolutely.
ourselves and then with others. And
Yes.
then based on the outcome of that level of community, then we can make a determination if you can make it to a community of trust.
Right. Because everything that you just said makes it clear that number one, I'm going to say some stuff. Not easy to do. You got to be vulnerable and courageous
Mm,
in order to explore beyond. The realtor said, this is a good neighborhood. We got the house. We did well with that. We got the house that we wanted. But now, that's right. The next level of working within the community is to find out what else you can trust in the community. Because you trusted something already to move there.
mhm,
You
mhm.
trusted yourself. You trusted your financial situation. Taxes are high. You trusted that. You trusted the longevity of being there. You trusted the school system, the information you received about the school. You trusted all of that, but you don't know your neighbors.
Mhm.
So now it's those moments of walking your dog. Who else has a dog? But who else is trustworthy with the dog? So now
Mhm.
the exploration again, vulnerability, because you got to do some homework, you got to collect some data, and the courage at the same time. The courage. So when
So,
you take those steps and you move forward to see, okay, does this support who I am in this community? Is this the other thing that I can get within this community?
okay, okay. So if we are going to really do life well and make 2023 different from any other year that we've had, we need to be better at exploration within the communities we're in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because now what you're doing, oh, I talked about the vulnerability, right? And the courage. Now you're determining, can I give power within this community for others to take the action, excuse me, that will impact us? Do I believe that the actions will be good? So now
Mhm.
you have to have a hope that as I approach and learn my neighbors or who's my den mates, who's in group with me, because I'm giving them power when I open up and say, hey, let me see if I can trust. So I'm offering you this power. My hope is that you come back and show me that, yes, this is a safe place. Yes, you can trust this environment. Yes, I'm here. I'm not just in this group for me. I'm here to impact your life as well. It's not going to be one sided. I want to give what I have and I want to receive what you have that I don't have yet. And so that iron sharpening iron, I call it, you know what I'm saying? That going back and forth with a person and finding out, because everybody has value, and finding out what their added value might offer to your life and what you have to offer to them.
Such good stuff. Such good stuff. So, if how do we? I know you mentioned vulnerability. I know you mentioned courage. How else could we practically go about testing whether or not a person is trustworthy?
Well, you
You
got
test
to,
it.
yeah, you got to make an offering. You got to make a
Mm,
small offering. You got to know what you can give. Like I said before, we're here to impact one another. So you got to have a small offering that you offer to the person, whatever it may be that you notice, because we're servants. The hope is that we're paying attention, that we are observant as servants, that we're paying attention and we noticed or we heard someone say something that they were having difficulty with. And so we offer it and we test it out. We check it out, so to speak. And we say, okay, little by little, hey, I'm going to the Y tomorrow. You want to come with me? It's an open environment. It's a safe environment. I want to walk inside. They have an indoor track. I want to walk, and let's see if we can walk and we have anything to talk about. Or you see a neighbor walking in the community, and you say, "Hey, I'd like to walk. I need a partner to walk with. It's safer." And then you see if you can build any conversation to find out. I always say this: what else? What other values do we have in common beside this neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
And it's dog friendly. Or this group. This group. I came into this group because I was hoping to learn better communication skills. Okay, well, we can sit side by side. And we can make a decision. Somebody's going to make a decision one day to say, "Hey, you know what? Did you hear what Professor Jamila said? What did you think about what she said? Because that really resonated with me." So the next thing you know, they're sitting after class having a conversation, or sitting after group having a conversation, and there's enough information being given for them to exchange phone numbers. So now trust is being built, because trust is power. Trust creates growth. It helps us to flourish. And it helps us to establish wholeness and healing when empathy is expressed to another person. So that right there, that's what trust does. And there's a feeling that comes from it as well. Just like there's a feeling that comes when you can't trust something, there's a feeling that comes when you can trust. So the hope is that you already are sensing that, okay, this person is offering me something that's going to help me because they're 10 steps ahead of me in this area. And I am 10 steps ahead of them in an area. So we're taking information in. We're taking it in. It's not blind. Like I said, everyone has value, and you get to determine how much value they have to you. And you hope that you come to the table knowing what you have to offer them. And that's not arrogance. It's just an awareness of who you are, that you're trustworthy, honest, caring, you have empathy, you're flourishing, you're thriving. And so, but I'm also here because I need more. We definitely have that in common. We both want more. We both want to serve better. We both want to be our best selves. So we have that. So you don't want to leave trust out of the equation, though, because that is very, very important. That's part of the foundation of anything that you're going to build. When you go to buy a car, guess what? You want to trust the manufacturer. You've done some research.
So I think with wrapping up here, we have to think about what there has to be an offering of trust, right? In a community setting. And we have to release ourselves from the expectation, because we're here to collect information on whether or not we can bring this person in closer to us. And I think that also helps us with offense. Any last thought on this community of trust?
Well, love is a risk. in case anybody forgot about that, love is a risk. You're taking a risk because you don't know enough about yourself, and you don't know enough about the other person. But the opportunity that exists for you to know yourself better and know the other person better is worth it. It's worth it to build a community, and we're not to live life alone. And so we don't have to be lonely. There are enough people in the world to connect, and especially in what we're doing, to connect in a group of honest women of integrity, women with wisdom, and welcoming and open and willing to hear you even when you're not talking.
All right, y'all. It's been another good conversation of value. Take care, and we will see you soon.
Blessings to everyone. Thank you for being here.